Once again, Mrs. Ford will be right. Okay. Number one, part one. Remember, if you are not taking the quest, you owe it to your teammates to be quiet. You are quiet. So that those people who need this grade can have a chance at it. Alright, so here we go. And you know when we're taking it, right? This is not done in class time. I think I gave you one stapled together with some other stuff I gave you. Yeah. So here we go. A. What kind of a sequence is this? Arithmetic.
Yeah.
And the difference is negative 3. We're going down by 3s. How about B? What's happening in B? Neither. That is neither. There's nothing going on there. Now, there's a pattern for sure, but it doesn't matter. It's not arithmetic or geometric. What about C? Geometric. And the ratio is? 3. We're timesing by 3. Remember, we're multiplying by 3. And D? It's geometric, and we are multiplying by 1/3. Perfect. Anybody have a question about that? All right, next part. We're doing the limits. Remember our rules. Look at the limits. What's the limit of the first one? Positive 4. Look at the n's, kids. Don't you have 4n over 1n? So the limit is 4. What about b? That one's no limit. That is exactly right, Asia. No limit. Because we have 6n squared over no n squares. Remember, our focus is the highest power. What about C? 0. Because 4/7 is less than 1. That makes it 0. And what about D? 0. Very good, Asia. We've got no n squareds over 7n squareds, and that is 0. Okay, now we got a probability question with a Venn diagram. So who remembers how we start this? We've got a C circle and an H circle that overlap. Who remembers how we start this? Okay, so first of all, we fill in the middle. And the middle is the thing that says, what's the probability of being in C and H? So that is 0.13. This is the middle. C and H, both circles. Now, if the probability of C is 0.72, that means the whole circle is 0.72. Since 0.13 has already been taken care of, this must be what? 0.59? And the whole H is 0.21. 0.13 is already done, so this must be 0.08. Everybody okay with filling in the circles? You can't answer the questions without the circles. Got them filled in? All right, so now we have the probability of not C and H. Remember, that means not C and H. Not C, but H. You're in H, but not in C. So wouldn't you agree that's these guys right here? Yeah. They're in H, but not in C, so that's 0.08. And then, not in C and not in H. Ooh, I didn't fill that part out yet. Do you remember what that is? If you're not in C and not in H, where are you? Out here? I didn't fill that out. What do these add up to? 0.8? If those add up to 0.8, this has to be 0.2. So the answer to that question is 0.2. Anybody have a question about that? Okay, now for this back page, you need your formulas. See them down there at the bottom? That's how they'll be on the quest. Looks just like this. So we need our formulas. We have to decide which one we're going to use where. So the question gives you a clue. The first question says A sub 310. We're going to use an A formula. One of your A formulas down there. How do you know which A formula you're going to use? What kind of sequence do you have? That's arithmetic with a difference of 3. So we'll use the arithmetic formula, which says first term plus D times n minus 1. That's the formula we're going to use. So what's our first term? 2. Our difference is 3. Now, be careful. Some of you are still messing this up. This is n. So what goes in my parentheses? 310 minus 1, which is 309. The formula says A sub n. This is A sub n, so n is 310. So again, you need a calculator. And I got 929. Everybody else okay with that? It's your last chance now to ask questions. You got it? All right, next one says find S sub 25. So you've got 2 formulas down there in the boxes that say S sub n. This is n. So we gotta decide which one it is. What kind of sequence do we have? It's geometric and we're multiplying by -2. So we're going to use the formula that says A sub 1 minus A sub 1 r to the nth over 1 minus r. That's the formula we're using because that's the geometric sum formula. So A sub 1 is -1. There's another -1. You told me my ratio was -2. What's the n this time? 25 over 1 minus the ratio. All right. Now, I do notice I have a couple of double negatives. Did you notice that? So I'm going to go ahead and take care of those. So I'm going to type in -1 plus -2 to the 25th over 3. I'm going to type that in on my calculator. It's going to be a big number. -1 plus parentheses -2 raised to the 25th divided by 3. I got -111,848,11. You okay? All right, the next one is another A formula. I'm finding A sub something. All right, let's look at that sequence. Sometimes the fractions at the beginning are confusing. Look at the ones toward the end. What do you think they're at the end? Times 5? So this is geometric and the ratio is 5. So I am using one of my A formulas, and it's the one that has a multiply, and it's the R. So my formula is A sub 1 r to the n minus first. So here we go. What's my A sub 1? 4/25. You already told me my R is 5. Here's my n, guys. So what's my exponent going to be?
19.
20 minus 1, which is 19. So this is going to be another giant number. 4 divided by 25 times 5 raised to the 19th. 3.05 times 10 to the 12th. That's a big number. Okay, everybody good with that? Got any issues there? Anybody want to ask a question about that? All right, so now we're doing S. Look at your formulas. Do you have any formulas that say S? Yeah, 1. That's the one you're going to use. What do you need? The formula is A sub 1 over 1 minus R. So here we go. What's A sub 1 in your sequence? 2. What are we multiplying by? 1/3. Very good. Your ratio is 1/3. Now let's not mess this up. What's 1 minus 1/3? 2/3. 2 divided by 2/3 is the same as 2 times 3/2. So the answer is just 3. Just 3. This is the hard one. A lot of you got this right on your quiz though, which is good, but it is the hardest. What kind of sequence is it? How am I getting from term to term? It's arithmetic. I'm adding 6. So this is the formula I want to use. That's my arithmetic sum formula. Now, kids, what's n in this problem? They tell you right there. What's n? 58. So S sub 58 is going to be 58 over 2 times the first term, which is 4, plus what? What's that? A sub 58. That's the 58th term. Do we know what that is? No, we don't. Trey, what are you watching on that iPad? Huh? Now, we're going to find the 58th term using our A formula. So that'll be 4 plus 6 times 57. That is like little side work over to the side, because what that's going to give you, when I do 4 plus 6 times 57, that gives me 346. Now what do I do with the 346? That's not the answer. That goes right here. So I have 58 over 2 times 4 plus 346. So that's 29 times 350. So the answer is 101.50. All right, we're going to get our quizzes back in a minute, but I want to get through this first. Everybody still with me, okay? All right, so we only have one more page to go. Here we go. In how many ways can the letters of the word awesome is you be arranged? What do we need to do first? We need to count them up, right? Say there's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we start with 12 factorial. And again, I know there's duplicates, but we don't worry about that to start with. To start with, we just count them up. Now we worry about the duplicates. So what have we got? 2 E's. So I like to keep track of them. And then what else did you say? 2 S's? 2 S's? 2 O's? Is that it? So when I type that in on my calculator now, there's more than one thing down here, so I'm going to put it in parentheses. So remember, your factorial is in your math prob menu. So your answer is 59,875,200. That's what you should get. So you want to make sure you're practicing typing in so that you can get the right answer. You'll have your calculator for this whole class. Anybody have a question about A? Okay, what about B? Oh yeah, Bailey? Now B, I left a ton of room there. Why did I leave so much room there? It's a tree. That's a tree. So we know we're gonna have 2 branches, and we know what's on the bottom is the question that's being asked. Find the probability that I'll type the quiz. So I'm either gonna type or not type. That goes on the bottom. What goes on the top branch then? What's the other thing that's happening? Rain or not rain? Alright, so here we go. The chance of rain is 11%. The chance of rain is 11%. That goes right here. And a 0.11 goes right there. 0.89 goes right here. If it rains, the probability I'll type the quiz. So if it rains, the probability I'll type is 0.72, which means this is 0.28. If it doesn't rain, the probability that I'll type the quiz is 0.41, which means I won't type at 0.59. Is everybody clear with those numbers? Now how do I get the answer? I want to know what the probability is I actually will type the quiz. What do I do? Eric?
You multiply 0.11 plus 2.
I multiply these 2 together, so I get 0.11 times 0.72. That's 0.0792.
You multiply 0.89.
And I multiply these 2 together. 0.89 times 0.41. That's 0.3649. And then I add them together. 0.4441. Anybody have a question? Okay, there are 75 students in the gym. So here's the gym. There's 75 kids in there. 50 of them like volleyball, and 33 of them like basketball. Everybody likes at least one of the sports. How many like only basketball? What do you think? Sound like a Venn diagram to you? We have a volleyball ball and a basketball ball. Now, don't put 50 here and 35 here. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with putting 50 and 35 like that? It's too much. How much too much is it? 10? What does that mean? There's 10 in the middle. And then if there's 10 in the middle, there must be how many here? 40. And how many here? 25. So what was the question? How many only like basketball? So the answer to the answer to the question would be 25. 25 like only basketball. Joseph, you following along? You sure? Okay, we got to get pumped about this because this is big. All right, how many ways can I choose 10 students to go on a hike if there are 28 students in the class? So there are 28 kids, and I'm going to pick 10 of them. I need to decide if I'm going to put a C in there or a P in there. C. Why am I putting a C in there? Order doesn't matter. I'm just picking 28 kids. I mean 10 kids. I'm picking 10. So remember, we typed 28, math, prob, NCR, 10. Oh gosh. 13123110 is the answer to the question. What do you think? Are we still good? All right. So now we are going to make a license plate. They have to have 2 letters followed by 2 numbers. So letter, letter, number, number. That's the way the license plate's going to look. no letter or number can repeat. All right. How many choices? I'm gonna put a letter in this blank. How many choices do I have? 26. Now, how many for this blank? 25, because no letter or number can repeat. So whatever you use first, you can't use now. Now I need a number. How many numbers are there? How many numbers? 10. But I can't repeat them, so this one is 9. And what am I going to do with those numbers? Multiply them. 25 times 24 times 10 times 9. 54,000. Yeah.
How come that wouldn't be 9 instead of 10? Because like wouldn't like 10 be like 1 and 0?
Wait.
No, there's a 0. So your digits are 0 through 9.
Oh yeah.
There's 10 numbers to choose from.
Just 4.
Yeah, it's not the number 10, there's 10 different digits.
Wouldn't that be 58? Because 26 times 25.
So that's typed in.
You typed in 24.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had the wrong one here. Chris is right, I'm sure. Yep, it's 58.5. Thank you, Chris, for paying attention. 58.5. You are exactly right. Thank you. Last day of class, and of course I had to make a mistake. All right, letter F. How many ways can 8 children be arranged in a row? 8 factorial. So the answer is 8 factorial, which is 40320. 8 factorial. So the last question, 8 kids in a row. What if I said 8 kids in a circle? 7 factorial, right. Remember, in a circle we are 1 less. All right, let me hand back the quizzes from yesterday. And we have time, I'll be back with you guys. All right, so here we go. These were, what did I say, 23 points. These quizzes were 1 points.
Exam questions.
Yeah, Marley, I'm not sure I can throw this out, but you need a better way. There's no need to have a phone.
Alright.
Okay, we'll put that away.
Oh.
Put your head up, Joseph.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Okay, I will.
Over 62 for the first one.
Out of 23.
19. Out of the second page.
Oh,
Yeah.
so 62 after this.
Emily,
So you're probably good. 50 questions.
Robbie,
You got it.
Chris.
This is for how many questions the final is going to be? 4.5.
Oh gosh, I have to look at it.
What was this about?
62.
Art,
Ooh.
is that how many questions on your new sheet? But
Yeah.
those are double, so it'll be 31. More like 32.
So there's 31 math questions?
On the final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a lot. That's how it was last one.
That's how it was last.
This is a negative fund. It was like a normal test.
Hey, wait, so how was the last one that version?
Quincy,
It was on YouTube, right?
You can't see it?
Jake,
I did write negative fund. It's just kind of.
look at it.
22. It's too easy.
How what? How was this that version?
It's too easy.
Because it's over 0. So, 0 to 6.
Colleen,
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. Minus a point for that.
I don't know what I was doing with that.
I was going to work on that.
I've got 1.
Go minus.
I messed up on this because I wasn't sure if
Okay.
to solve it or not.
so let's take a look at these.
What was the quiz out of?
23.
My fault. Consulting.
Yes.
Take one of those ones.
He asked how much
Now,
it was.
let's review if you are questing,
Or
and remember it is optional, but if you are questing, what are you doing now? Either tomorrow morning, that's one option, what else? After school tomorrow, and what's your third option? Sunday at 1, right? Those are your
How do you know which
options.
one that it is?
Okay, we're gonna go over these quietly because he is, out there. I think we're done with that, so we'll turn that off.
So this has been brought to you by the last class witness for it.
Can we get